There are 7 philosophers whose ideas mirror the 7 deadly sins perfectly, and we're diving right in. Firstly, let's consider pride. Authoritative, visionary, self-assured. Plato, one of the greatest philosophers, introduces us to his theory of ideal forms, a concept that beautifully aligns with the essence of pride. In Plato's philosophy, these forms are perfect, eternal templates existing in a realm beyond our everyday reach, representing the pinnacle of truth and reality. Imagine the form of a perfect circle, unblemished and complete, unlike any hand-drawn approximation we can make in the physical world. Plato believed that the highest goal of knowledge was to apprehend these forms, to grasp the pure essence behind every flawed manifestation in the tangible world. This quest for ultimate truths mirrors the pride seen in individuals who hold themselves and their viewpoints in extremely high regard. Authoritative, self-assured, and visionary about their insights and beliefs. Here lies a crucial lesson about pride. It involves striving for an unreachable standard of perfection, which can be both a noble pursuit and a profound trap. As we chase these ideal forms like Plato, we risk becoming too enamored with our own perceived ideal image or ideas, potentially losing sight of our human limitations and the value of others' perspectives. This exploration into Plato's philosophy doesn't just illuminate the nature of pride, it warns of the isolating heights it can lead to, where one might become blinded by their own brilliance, disconnected from the practical world. Next, we encounter greed, acquisitive, industrious, self-interested. Enter Adam Smith, the father of modern economics, renowned for his seminal work in capitalism. His concept of the invisible hand brilliantly showcases this idea. According to Smith, individuals pursuing their own interests, even purely economic ones, inadvertently contribute to the economic health of society. This mechanism, driven by personal gain, ideally leads to wealth creation and innovation. However, Smith also subtly warns us of the pitfalls. While self-interest fuels industry and economic growth, it can morph into greed when left unchecked. This transition from a positive economic force to a potentially destructive one highlights the fine line between healthy self-interest and harmful greed. Adam Smith's perspective shows that the mechanisms driving capitalism need boundaries and oversight to prevent the shift into excessive, damaging greed that can destabilize economies and widen social inequalities. This examination of Smith's economic philosophy sheds light on the delicate balance needed to harness the benefits of self-interest without letting it devolve into unchecked greed. Then there's lust, passionate, obsessive, primal. Sigmund Freud, a name synonymous with the exploration of human psyche, delves deep into this intense emotion through his theories of the libido. Freud posited that the libido, our sexual drive, is a key element in shaping our personalities and behaviors. According to Freud, this primal urge isn't just about physical attraction. It's a powerful psychological force that influences much of our decision-making, often lurking beneath our conscious awareness. He suggested that lust drives not only our quest for sexual fulfillment, but also our desires for success and influence, tapping into our deepest reservoirs of energy. Freud's analysis reveals how lust can dominate our actions, pushing us towards behaviors that might be at odds with our rational intentions. This can manifest in various aspects of life, not just in romantic or sexual contexts, but in our cravings for emotional connections, power, or even artistic expression. The obsessive nature of lust, as Freud outlines, can lead us to focus intensely on our desires, sometimes to the detriment of other facets of life. This deeper understanding of lust, according to Freud, shows us just how pervasive and influential this sin can be. It's a reminder of the potent, often uncontrollable forces that drive human behavior, urging us to acknowledge and manage these impulses thoughtfully. Moving on to envy, resentful, covetous, revolutionary. Karl Marx offers a profound insight into this complex emotion through his analysis of class struggles. In Marx's view, envy isn't just a personal feeling, it's a significant societal force. His critique highlights how envy emerges from the disparities between different social classes, fostering a deep sense of injustice among the oppressed. Marx argues that envy arises when the underprivileged classes covet the wealth and power held by the upper classes. This covetousness isn't petty, it's a powerful motivator for revolutionary action. According to Marx, envy can drive the working class to challenge and overturn the existing capitalist structures, aiming for a redistribution of wealth and a more equitable society. However, while envy can initiate necessary societal changes and act as a catalyst for equality, it also has the potential to lead to significant conflict and discontent. Marx's analysis shows that envy can perpetuate division and strife within society, making it a double-edged sword. It's a force that can both destabilize and create opportunities for new social orders to emerge. This examination of envy through the lens of Marx's philosophy helps us understand it as a dynamic and influential force in shaping human history and societal structures. Gluttony, excessive, consuming, controlling. Michel Foucault's ideas stretch far beyond the traditional notion of overeating to encompass a broader interpretation of gluttony. His theories delve into how power and knowledge are not just consumed but voraciously devoured in society. Foucault argued that knowledge and power are closely intertwined, suggesting that our quest for information is often a disguise for seeking control. This intellectual appetite manifests as gluttony when our desire to know and control becomes insatiable. It's not merely about acquiring facts, it's about dominating narratives, shaping perceptions, and exercising control through information. This form of gluttony goes beyond physical consumption and touches every aspect of societal interaction. Foucault highlighted how institutions and societal structures use knowledge to maintain and exert power. The excessive desire to accumulate data and influence, according to Foucault, often leads to surveillance states and societies where privacy is minimal and control is extensive. Foucault's perspective on gluttony helps us recognize the dangers of an unchecked appetite for knowledge and power. It warns us of the consequences when the thirst for control overpowers ethical considerations, leading to a society where freedom is compromised for the sake of order and control. This understanding of gluttony encourages a critical view of how power dynamics are structured and challenges us to question the motives behind our consumption of information and our relentless pursuit of authority. Wrath, intense, strategic, unforgiving. Niccolò Machiavelli, in his seminal work The Prince, offers a striking perspective on how wrath can be strategically utilized in the realm of politics. Machiavelli portrays wrath not just as an emotional outburst, but as a deliberate tool that can be employed to achieve and maintain power. In his analysis, wrath is shown as a calculated force used by rulers to instill fear and respect. Machiavelli argues that a leader at times must invoke wrath to demonstrate decisiveness and authority. This use of wrath can be effective in maintaining control and discouraging opposition. However, Machiavelli also cautions about the dangers of wrath when it spirals out of control. If not carefully managed, it can lead to reckless decisions, alienate allies, and provoke widespread dissent, ultimately undermining the very authority it was meant to consolidate. Machiavelli's writings illuminate the dual nature of wrath in political leadership as a potent but perilous instrument. His insights offer a deeper understanding of the strategic uses of wrath and the critical balance needed to prevent it from becoming a destructive force. Finally, sloth, leisurely, reflective, detached. Henry David Thoreau, in his famed Retreat to Walden Pond, encapsulates these characteristics through his deliberate choice to live simply and alone. In Walden, Thoreau advocates for solitude and simplicity, stepping back from the frenetic pace of society to embrace a life of minimalism and deep contemplation. Thoreau's lifestyle and philosophy could easily be mistaken for sloth by those who measure success and virtue by the yardstick of productivity and constant activity. However, Thoreau presents this withdrawal from societal norms not as laziness but as a meaningful, purposeful choice. He sees value in detachment from materialistic pursuits, suggesting that true insight and contentment come from within and can be obscured by incessant busyness. In his solitude, Thoreau finds richness and depth, arguing that a life filled with reflection and nature is far from idle, but is instead a fulfilling exploration of the self and the world. This perspective challenges us to reconsider our definitions of productivity and engagement. By adopting a slower, more deliberate pace, Thoreau shows us how what appears to be sloth can actually be an active, intentional, and profoundly enriching way of life, encouraging a deeper connection with our thoughts, beliefs, and the natural world around us. In exploring how the philosophies of notable thinkers align with the 7 deadly sins, we uncover not just intellectual exercises, but deeply personal reflections that mirror the philosophers' own lives and struggles. Each philosopher's engagement with their respective sin reveals layers of personal insecurity and philosophical inquiry, shedding light on the broader human experience. Pride as Plato. Plato's obsession with the realm of ideal forms often reflected a deep-seated yearning for order and perfection in a chaotic world. This pursuit, while driven by a noble desire to understand the pure essence of all things, could also mirror Plato's own pride, a confidence in his capacity to perceive and articulate a higher reality. It shows the risk of intellectual pride that can isolate a philosopher from practical realities, enamored by the beauty of his own ideals. Greed as Adam Smith. Adam Smith's economic theories revolve around self-interest driving societal benefits, which, while innovative, also hint at the pitfalls of greed. Smith's acknowledgement of the necessity of checks and balances in capitalism suggests his awareness of human fallibility, including his own. His work reflects a tension between celebrating the virtues of self-interest and recognizing the greed that can arise when self-interest is pursued without moral and societal constraints. Lust as Sigmund Freud. Freud's exploration of lust through the lens of libido and human behavior was groundbreaking, yet it also exposed his own preoccupations with the primal aspects of human nature. His theories, which stirred much controversy, often seemed to be a personal reckoning with human desires, including his own, suggesting that our deepest impulses can dominate our lives and shape our interactions with the world. Envy as Karl Marx. Marx's critique of capitalism and his depiction of class struggle are deeply imbued with the notion of envy. His philosophy was forged in the fires of personal and societal discontent, observing the vast disparities between the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. Marx himself struggled with financial instability and societal alienation, which fueled his critique of the capitalist systems that he believed fostered envy and division. Gluttony as Michel Foucault. Foucault's analysis of power and knowledge as forms of consumption that extend beyond mere materialism to the very control over people and information reflects a broader societal gluttony. His own life, marked by a quest for understanding the mechanisms of control, mirrors this sin through an insatiable appetite for knowledge that sometimes veered into an overwhelming desire to dissect and influence societal structures. Wrath as Niccolò Machiavelli. Machiavelli's nuanced discussion of wrath in politics as both a tool and a threat is a reflection of his personal experiences with political exile and betrayal. His writings, motivated by a blend of personal vengeance and a strategic understanding of power, illustrate how wrath can emerge from personal grievances to shape theories on governance and control. Sloth as Henry David Thoreau. Thoreau's embrace of solitude and simplicity in Walden is often misinterpreted as sloth, but it also confronts the societal inclination to equate busyness with productivity. His deliberate choice to live detached from societal expectations speaks to his critique of the relentless pursuit of progress, reflecting his own struggles with conforming to societal norms and finding value in introspection and minimalism. In each of these philosophers, their philosophies do not merely reflect detached ideas, but are imbued with their personal trials, insecurities, and critiques of their societies. Through the lens of the 7 deadly sins, we see not just theoretical constructs, but living ideas shaped by very human struggles, offering us profound insights into not only their worlds, but also our own.